What's up guys, welcome to another episode of Monster Review where we take a look at tech tips and how-to videos. Today I got another how-to. I am going to repurpose an old laptop. I think this is the first time I'm repurposing an old laptop, right? Yeah, usually I repurpose old desktops, but today I'm going to repurpose an old laptop. The laptop in question that I have is this Toshiba right here. It's nothing special. It's a Core i3 processor, basic laptop designed for like basic functions like checking the web, document creation, things like that. Now this computer is old, and so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to install Windows. Although if you have a computer that's more recent and you want to reuse it, then yeah, feel free to install Windows if you want. This computer, it's pretty old, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to install ChromeOS. Yes, ChromeOS. Everybody loves using ChromeOS on old hardware. I'm not going to be using just any ChromeOS. I'm using ChromeOS Flex. Now, this version of ChromeOS has no Play Store, and it is required to have an internet connection in order for the operating system to run. If you don't have an internet connection, the operating system will not run because it is web-based. Not a lot is installed on the hard drive itself. But the reason why I love ChromeOS Flex so much is because of what it was able to do with this old laptop. This is an old laptop from 2008. It belonged to my grandfather. It is running an AMD Vision processor. It was designed for Windows 7. And he was having so much problems with it. It was too slow, too sluggish, took forever to connect to the web. And so he just gave it to me. He's like, yeah, take it. I don't want it. It's too slow. Do what you want with it. Throw it away, recycle it. I don't know. I tried a couple of things. I tried to run Ubuntu on it. Could not handle Ubuntu. I tried Windows XP. Could not handle Windows XP. I tried Chrome OS, it could not handle Chrome OS. I even tried TrueNAS, it couldn't even handle TrueNAS. So this laptop really was on its last leg. However, I decided to give it a shot with Chrome OS Flex, and surprisingly, it handled Chrome OS Flex beautifully. It handles it smoothly, there's no issues, there's no lagging, there's no slowness. I don't know what it is with Chrome OS Flex. It just works. And it's ironic too because Ubuntu is Linux and so is Chrome OS Flex, but yet this has no problems with Chrome OS Flex, but it does with Ubuntu. The only thing I could think of is that Ubuntu, runs natively on the machine. You don't exactly need a internet connection, whereas Chrome OS Flex, you need internet connection in order for the operating system to run. So it doesn't run natively on the machine itself. So that's the only thing I could think of, and it makes sense. It makes sense. So that is the operating system that we are going to use with our Toshiba laptop. Apart from it running very smoothly on this HP, I also love the aesthetics of Chrome OS Flex. It's minimal, it's beautiful, I like the interface. But before we install Chrome OS Flex onto our Toshiba, we actually have to get into our Toshiba laptop and see if there's anything wrong, if all the hardware is working correctly, RAM is good, make sure that the hard drive isn't faulty or bad. So let's go ahead and open up this Toshiba laptop and do some repairs. The first thing we need to do is get this old laptop running. The screen is cracked, but I'm not too concerned about it as we don't need it for this build. I'm going to take the back off of this laptop to see what we're working with. Now right off the bat, someone has been in this laptop already because we have some missing screws. Let's see if any damage was done. Alright, so I don't see any major damage, although this cooling tube, it does look a little worn, which can mean that this laptop has overheated multiple times. And it makes sense because my nephew just recently got a desk, so when he was using this laptop, I'm pretty sure he had it on his bed. RAM looks good. We have a total of 6 gigs. Usually you want the same RAM installed in pairs, so 2 4 gig sticks would have been ideal, but someone clearly just mixed and matched some RAM sticks here. And I'm not going to worry about it unless we run into any issues down the line. But in terms of having what we need for Chrome OS Flex, we're more than good. Chrome OS Flex had no issues running on the HP with 2 gigs, so I would imagine it would run beautifully on this laptop with 6 gigs. This hard drive looks good, but we're going to replace it anyway with a 240 gig SSD from Amazon. Again, ChromeOS Flex is web-based, so we don't need a lot of space. You could potentially get away with using 120 gigs. Now let's take the tube off and see the damage underneath the heatsink. Alright, well, everything looks good. The thermal paste isn't dried up like I thought it would be, but no matter because we have to replace it now that we removed the heatsink. But first, I have to clean up all the old thermal paste. Gotta make sure it's nice and clean. And now I'm going to clean up the fan. I do see some dust stuck between the fins, so I'm just going to scrub it with this old toothbrush. And finally, we can add the thermal paste to the chips and put the heatsink and fan back on. Now to put the back cover back on. Alright, so we have the PC put back together. So now that the repairs are over, next thing to do is to plug in this laptop and turn it on and see what happens. And we can turn on this laptop no problem. It powers on. We even get up to a screen where it says no operating system found, which is excellent. That means that it is also seeing the hard drive. We don't have an operating system on the hard drive, so it makes sense why it's saying there's no operating system found. But everything is good. Let's take care of that no operating system found. The first thing we're going to need is a flash drive, and you need at least 8 gigs or more. And that's what I have here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down next to the computer. And so the first thing you want to do is go ahead and open Google Chrome. And in the address bar, go ahead and type in Chrome Web Store. Okay, and click on Chrome Web Store. Now, in the search the store field, type in Chrome Recovery Utility. This is what we want, Chrome Recovery Utility. Click on it, and it's going to be our first result. Go ahead and click on it. And then you're going to see a blue Add to Chrome. Go ahead and click on Add to Chrome. And you're going to get this pop-up. Go ahead and click on Add Extension. Give it a second. Alright, and now it should be added. So I'm going to go ahead and X out of this. So now to get to Chromebook Recovery Utility, we're going to click on the puzzle piece in the upper right hand corner. Click on it. And then Chromebook Recovery Utility is the only extension I have. So that's why it's the only one that shows up. If you have multiple extensions, go ahead and scroll until you find Chromebook Recovery Utility. And then click on it. And then this window is going to pop up. Create a recovery media for your Chromebook. You'll need an 8 gig or larger USB flash drive or SD card that you don't mind erasing. Keep that in mind. Remember, it's going to format and erase everything off of your flash drive. So make sure you have no, memorable photos or anything like that you want to save. Make sure it's all backed up. So go ahead and take your flash drive and you're going to plug it into the PC. Go ahead and click on Get Started. And then it's going to ask for the model number. So go ahead and click on Select a model from a list. Click on Select a manufacturer and look for ChromeOS Flex. Click on it and then select a product field. Go ahead and click on it and select ChromeOS Flex and then click on Continue. Then it's going to ask to select the media you'd like to use. So just go ahead and click on it and select your flash drive. Go ahead and click on Continue. And then you're going to click on Create Now. And then it's going to download ChromeOS Flex and set up your flash drive so it is bootable into the ChromeOS installer. Now this can take a little bit long. It can take 15 minutes, 20 minutes. The first time I did this, it took about 15 minutes, so just be patient with it. Alright, when everything is complete, you're going to get a nice message that says that everything was successful. At that point, you can just close the Chrome Recovery Utility and pull out your newly bootable Chrome flash drive. And so now we're going to go to the Toshiba laptop. I have it sitting right in front of me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in one of the USB ports. Okay, and we are going to go ahead and boot the PC. Yes, and we're going to hit F12. Here we go. Oh, nice. All right, so now we're here in the boot menu. So we are going to look for our flash drive. Here it is. USB storage device. Hit enter. And then ChromeOS Flex is going to load for us. On this screen, it's just going to say, hey, welcome to ChromeOS Flex. Click on the Get Started. If you need to change your language, I think you can do that up here. But we're going to leave it with English, and we're going to hit Get Started. And now on this screen, we have two options. We can install ChromeOS Flex directly to the hard drive on the laptop, or if we want to try it first, we can try it first. This will not install on the hard drive, so do whatever you want. If you want to try it first, go ahead and try it first. But I've already tried it, so I like it. I know it works, so I'm going to go ahead and click on Next. And this is just telling us that make sure that we back up all of our data, because ChromeOS Flex is going to overwrite all the data on the hard drive. We're going to click on Install ChromeOS Flex. And then yet again, it's going to give us another warning about overwriting the hard drive. So we can just hit OK, or we can hit Install, click on Install. And then just sit back and let it do its thing. This is going to take a couple of minutes, like 15, 20 minutes. So grab a coffee, grab a snack, grab something to eat. Just let it do its thing. That's what I'm going to do. Be back in a bit. Alright, so we're back, and we have a message saying installation complete. Your device will shut down in 10 seconds. Remove the USB before turning your device back on. So we're just going to remove the USB here. Okay, and it's shut down. So now we're booted into ChromeOS Flex. I have my flash drive right here, so it's no longer in play. So we're getting a message here that says, do you want to activate ChromeVox, the built-in screen reader for ChromeOS? No, I do not. We don't need it. And we're going to hit Get Started. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we want to connect it to our Wi-Fi network. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the password from my Wi-Fi network. Go ahead and hit Connect. Alright, so who's using this Chromebook? I'm going to leave it on you, because I will be using this Chromebook. Hit Next. Please wait. Right, so now it's asking for my Google login. So, alright, so I'm going to type in my Google email address here. Now I'm going to type in the password for my Google account. Alright, two-step verification was sent to my phone. Yes, it's me. Okay, I have read terms and conditions, accept and continue. I do want it to sync up, so accept and continue. Let Google use your hardware data to help improve Chrome OS Flex. Sure, why not? Alright, sure, why not? Hit agree. Agree. And if you don't want Google Assistant, you can just not agree. A voice match is ready. Okay, so I like dark theme, so I'm going to go with a dark theme. Next. You're all set. You are ready to start using Chromebook. Get started. Alright, so Chrome is connected. We have a little welcome page. Look at this screen. Look how beautiful it is, right? It's just really clean. I'm obsessed with minimal desktops, and I just love the way this looks. At the bottom here, I have quick access to my phone. Get started. It's going to connect to my phone. So I got recent Chrome tabs that I looked at. Silence phone, enable hotspot, locate phone. If I hit locate phone, starts ringing. I can see my battery life. I can see the cell signal from my phone, recent photos. It says update available. So let's go ahead and push these updates here. Any updates are pending. Nope, so everything looks good. Notification tab right here. We have sign out, we have power down, lock, and then settings. And then we also have Wi-Fi connection, Bluetooth connection, notification, screen capture, nearby visibility, night light. And we can go to the second page where dark theme and Google Cast. On the bottom right here, we can control the volume. We can control the brightness. This only applies to your laptop screen though, so it doesn't really do anything if you're connected to external display. You got the date right here, so if you click on it, you got a calendar. You can click here to get to your calendar too, and this is your phone settings that I just showed you. Starting from the right, we have YouTube, we have Google Meet, which has replaced Google Duo. We have Google Messages, Files, Calendar, Gmail, and Chrome. So YouTube obviously launches YouTube in Google Chrome, but I guess it doesn't have like a address bar or anything like that. So we have Google Meet, so you can start a meeting, enter code, host a meeting. We have Google Messages. If you use Google Messages on your Android phone and you want to link it to this ChromeOS Flex, all you do is scan the QR code and then it will automatically set you up so you can receive and send text messages. We have Files, so you can see the files on your laptop. Google Calendar, so you can see all of your calendar invites. We have Gmail, obviously that's your email, and then you have Google Chrome, to where you can search the web. And then over here, it's kind of like a start menu. So if you click on it, you have access to a lot more applications. Some games right here, playbooks, play movies, scan where you can scan documents. This is not the Play Store. This is actually the Chrome Web Store. So if you click on it, it opens the Chrome Web Store where we pretty much got the Chrome Recovery Tool, Drive, Sheets, Slides, Docs. So if you click on like Sheets, all it does is it opens Sheets in Google Chrome. That's it. Camera, so if you have a camera connected to your laptop, you can access the camera. Mine's is disconnected right now. Google Maps, click on it again. This is kind of like YouTube. It's opening a web version, although it's like slimmed down. It doesn't necessarily look like you're accessing Google Maps on Google Chrome. It actually looks like a native app. You have Google Keep, YouTube Music, Calculator, Explore, Settings, Camera, Gallery, Screencast, Text, and Terminal. And that's it. You also have Google Assistant up here, so you can click on Google Assistant. Hey, what's the weather like today? Or you can type it. What's the weather like? So if you have a printer, this is where you go to add your printer. However, there is a bug, I think, with ChromeOS Flex. So let me show you this. If you go to printers, right? This is ChromeOS Flex searching your network for available printers. So if I add this is my Brother printer. It's a black and white laser printer. So I'll add that, right? And then I'll go to Chrome. Let's say I want to print a screen. Control P. So I'll go here. I'll do see more. And here's the Brother printer. All right. See what happens? Can't connect to printer. This Brother printer is going to be the same thing. It's not going to be able to connect to it. So if I hit print, nothing happens. So you'll get this message, can't connect to printer. Same with this one, can't connect to printer. I don't know why it does that. It just doesn't work with printers it found on the network. So these are the same printers, but I added it manually, and they work when you add it manually. And it's really easy to do. All you do is click on the printer plus right here, and you're going to type a name for your printer. So I'll just say Monster, right? And then you're going to type in the IP address for your printer, 192.168.1.1. This is just an example. This is not really my printer's IP address. And then I changed the protocol to app socket and then click add. For some odd reason, when I do that, the printers work. So if I go back and I print this web page right here using one of these printers, it's going to actually work and it's going to print. So I don't know what the deal with that is. But there you go. That's like a quick walkthrough of ChromeOS Flex. Really cool software. I like how light it is, how quick it is, how fast it is. It's an excellent software to run on this old Toshiba laptop. So now that we installed ChromeOS Flex on the laptop and I've given you a quick walkthrough, now let's put everything together and actually configure our all-in-one. Cables, base. There we go, nice and firm. Okay, what else we got? We got a nice little remote. It looks like they also send us an HDMI cord. Really cool. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so now let's get our mounting bracket, which is this right here. This is the strap I'll be using. It's very flexible. So no doubt it should be able to hold everything in place. I just tied it around this, so should be good. Alright, so what I did was pretty simple. I took a piece of paper, put it right here, used a permanent marker, marked the holes on the piece of paper, and then I used a piece of paper to put the marks on this laptop holder. And then I used a punch tool and a drill to drill out the holes. Now that that's done, pads, and I'm going to put them back on. Now I can continue to attach to the monitor. Like so. Laptop is going to go on like that. Then we can take our strap, take our power cord right here. We'll put that on, cut it, peel it, and stick it on. So this is the port on this side. Perfect. And this is why I chose a short HDMI cable. Lock those cables in place. Now all we got to do is take this downstairs and set it up. So after putting this thing downstairs on the kitchen cabinet like I originally planned, I later realized that, you know what, this thing is way too good looking to have on the kitchen counter. Apart from that, it couldn't fit underneath the top cabinets like I originally planned, so it had to come out a little bit. And although it looked fine, it did get in the way of counter space, so we decided to move it around and see if we can figure out another place for it. That led us to this little section next to the kitchen. It's designed for, like, you know, a round table, small round table, kind of like a nook area. So we decided to, you know, get a desk and put it there. So I had a folding desk that I use on this channel a lot. I use that folding table to shoot the portion of the video where I was setting up the monitor. So I put it downstairs, put it in the corner, and put the monitor on top of it. And we didn't like it, but at the same time, we didn't hate it. You know, it looked good in that area. However, we felt like maybe a desk would look better than a folding table. We went on IKEA's website. We found a nice cheap desk, white desk, that was $100, and it looked pretty cool. And we picked it up and set it up that very day. And I have to say, everything just fell in place like Lego blocks. It just clicked, right? And so we were really impressed with how everything turned out. The desk, the keyboard and mouse, and the new build just looks so stunning in this area. Okay, maybe not so stunning, but it does look pretty darn attractive if you ask me. It's not on the same level as, like, you know, a iMac. It looks pretty darn good, and it proves to be very functional. I'll get more into that later on. You know, this thing kind of evolved into what it is today. So you probably see the PlayStation on the bottom. So, you know, after setting it up, putting the all-in-one that we built on top of the desk, you know, I was standing back admiring this work of art, if you will. And my little son, 4 years old, came to me and he's like, "Oh, can I play PlayStation on it?" And I was like, "No, you can't." Actually, you can. Yeah, I think, yeah. This is a monitor slash TV with 2 HDMI ports. Why not? And sure enough, I did have my old PS4 that I was no longer using upstairs in storage. So I brought it out of storage, set it up, put the PlayStation Now account on it. I am subscribed to PlayStation Now, so, you know, we get some free games. Set it up. Created accounts for my children, and got a mounting bracket to mount the PlayStation on the side, on the bottom of the desk. I didn't want it on the top, you know, I wanted to keep everything nice and clean. I thought the black would really stand out against desk in a bad way, but I actually kind of digged it after mounting it. I thought it looked pretty darn cool. And all the stuff that I've used in this build, I will post links to them so you can buy the stuff yourself, like the bracket I used to mount the PlayStation. And it worked beautifully. Connecting the PlayStation up to the monitor, it was an awesome idea. And so now this thing has morphed from an all-in-one to a complete entertainment center. This desk just, like, it does everything, right? Gaming, TV, computer work, YouTube, whatever, music, whatever you want, it does it. And I'm really happy that I was able to, you know, reuse two electronic devices that I had laying around in my house. Number one being the old PC that my nephew gave me, and number two being the PlayStation 4 that was no longer in use ever since we upgraded to the PS5. As a matter of fact, I just got an email while building this build that Sony was no longer going to support the PS4, and so newer games were no longer going to have a PS4 version. So I was like, this is perfect, you know? And then, of course, the one last item I added to this build is a wireless charger that I had from Samsung. I had two. That also wasn't being used. It was in the closet somewhere. Found it, set it up on the desk. So now, you know, if you're on the desk and you need to charge your phone or your Galaxy Watch, you can just pop it down on that charger. The charger works with iPhones too, so you can charge your iPhones. You can charge up to 2 devices and 1 watch. It doesn't work with Apple Watch, but you know, majority of the guests will be able to charge their phones while, you know, chatting with the family. So I thought this was a perfect addition to it, and it just happened to be white. And the white is a little deteriorated compared to like the desk and the monitor, but not too worried about it. And the beautiful thing about this desk is that there is a special portion of the desk on the top that allows you to run cables and wires. It keeps everything nice and neat and the wires off the floor. Really love this desk. It was well worth $100. Now, you know, if I had a desk that I could reuse, I would have definitely gone that route, because the theme of this video is repurposing whatever we can to create this build. That being said, I did break everything down into likes and dislikes. So let's go ahead and tackle the likes of this build. Number one, it's beautiful. I already told you it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but for something that, you know, came together in my mind, I am really happy with the results. I think it looks stunning. Number two, OS Flex runs great. I could not have asked for a better operating system to use on this old PC to give it new life. I love how it syncs everything up, because I am a Google person. I use Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides. I use all of those apps mainly because they're free, right? I've never been a Microsoft Office user, mainly because, you know, I'm not going to spend $300 a year. What they charge like a year, I think. I'm not going to spend that money to use software that I can use for free from Google, and that's why I'm a huge fan of Slides, Docs, and stuff like that, and I use it regularly. And it's so cool to have all of my docs synced up between all of my machines, because that means that I can start a script for a new video upstairs and then go downstairs and continue that script on the computer downstairs. And then, like, you know, if I'm on the road, I can pull out my phone and complete the script on the road. So it's really cool that I have the ability to do all that. Number three, super convenient. Beginning of video, I said it would have been nice to have a computer downstairs that we can just jump on if we need to do a quick search, a YouTube video search or whatnot. And, you know, I just said those things, but I didn't really mean it. After having to build downstairs for about 2 weeks now, I have to say it is very convenient. So much so that we often forget it's there, and when we remember and we use it, we're like, oh wow, this is so much better than having to go all the way upstairs to the studio to look up something on my computer, or my wife having to email something to me so I can go upstairs and pull it up on my computer and print it or whatnot. It's just so much easier to just jump on the computer, log into our Google accounts, and have everything there, because, you know, I have a Z Fold and she has a Z Flip, and they're running Android, so everything syncs up. And so it's really cool to have that ability to just jump on that computer, pull up your account, pull up the item that you were doing on your phone, and print it, save it, share it, whatever you want to do. It's so convenient. And I'll give you a perfect example. My wife recently shot a commercial with Google, and so they sent her instructions to create an invoice so she can get paid. And you know, she sent those instructions to me. She's like, go upstairs in the studio and see if you can you know, print this out and set it up. And I was like, just jump on your computer. And she's like, oh yeah, forgot. So she jumped on the computer, logged into her account. Of course, all of her Gmail was there, and she found the email, pulled it up, and was able to do everything from that computer. She was able to create her invoice, sign it, and send it to Google, all from using that new all-in-one computer. And when she was done, you know, she looked at me, she was like, convenient. It's really convenient. Number 4, the monitor doubles as a TV. Now, obviously, your results might vary, because you might very well use a monitor you already have that's not smart. It just has an HDMI or DisplayPort connection, you wouldn't have that ability. But using the M5 and having the ability to pull up your smart app, really cool, and really adds to the wow factor of this whole build. Not a lot of people realize there's such a monitor that also has the capability of streaming live TV to it. So it blows everyone's mind when we pull up, like, you know, live TV or Hulu, HBO Max, or Netflix. It just blows their minds, and I think it's really cool and a very welcome feature to this entire build. But like I said, your mileage might vary depending on what you choose to use as your display. Number 5. ChromeOS Flex has native cast support. You go into OS Chrome Flex, and there is a section that you can click on the bottom, and you can see cast. You could turn on cast, and you can see all of your Google devices, which is really cool, because if I have a YouTube video pulled up, I can easily cast it to my studio or to my room, wherever I want to hear that podcast, music, YouTube video, whatever. The only problem I found is that it does not support non-Google branded devices. I have these Lenovo display speakers. Google Cast does not see those devices, but it's not a problem with ChromeOS Flex or Google Cast. It's actually a problem with those non-Google displays. They are the problem. I've had multiple Lenovo displays that do not behave like Google displays, so that's more of a Lenovo problem than it is Google. But the fact that I have native cast support in ChromeOS Flex is pretty darn cool. Number 6. Like I said, because this monitor doubles as a TV, you have the ability to game on it, so you can plug a PlayStation, Xbox, whatever you have. And what's cool is that this monitor, Samsung thought about those kind of people that will have this on their computer desk and also have their game console connected to it. So they created a gaming profile for this monitor, and it does really bring out the beauty in your games. It makes all the games on this PS4 look beautiful. I don't know how they do it, because like the monitor is only a 60 hertz display, you know, it's not 120. The PlayStation 4, it doesn't really support 60 frames per second gaming. Somehow this monitor is actually able to upscale the PS4 video image, and what's cool about it is that there's no lag. I mean, there's some game lag, there's obviously going to be some game lag, but I've had my game consoles connected to TV that would upscale it to like 60 frames per second, and because the PS4 doesn't support the 60 frames per second, the lag is just ridiculous. We don't get this with this monitor. The games look smooth, it looks beautiful, vibrant, and you know, you don't have any noticeable lag. So how they did it, I don't know, but the gaming profile on this M5 monitor is legit. Thank you, Samsung, for thinking about that. But, you know, for those hardcore gamers that don't want their video games upscaled, you can turn this feature off and you can just play with your native PlayStation or Xbox support, whatever your game console supports. You can just play natively. Number 7, the biggest thing I love about this build was being able to reuse the things that I use. So like I said, the old laptop, being able to repurpose that and put ChromeOS Flex on it and then attach it to a monitor and reuse it, I think that's really awesome. And then to make it even better, reusing the PlayStation 4 that was in storage, that's another win-win, right? That's 2 devices I put to use once again. Now, PlayStation 4, obviously, it's not an old computer. I could easily have sold it on eBay and make like 150 or 200 bucks. But the fact that I was able to reuse it, repurpose it, not for my benefit, but for the kids' benefits, was really cool, because they do now use the PlayStation 4 almost daily. So I'm really happy that I'm able to reuse these 2 devices. But all good things come to an end. So now let's talk about dislikes. What are the things I don't like about this build? Number 1, the sleep function on ChromeOS Flex is hit or miss. I installed ChromeOS Flex on 3 devices, and all 3 devices behave the same. Although you turn off sleep mode on Google ChromeOS Flex for these devices, the device still goes to sleep and will not wake up. Doesn't matter what button you press, mouse you move, it does not wake up. It stays asleep. Clearly, it's a bug with ChromeOS Flex, so that causes a problem with this all-in-one build, because when ChromeOS Flex goes to sleep, there's no way to wake it up. I have to turn the monitor around, pull the lid for the old laptop, hold it open, and then eventually everything will wake up and I'll get ChromeOS Flex on my M5 monitor once again, and I can do what I need to do. It happens so often that every time I want to use the computer, I have to do those functions to get it up and running. I still think Google ChromeOS Flex works flawlessly on the Toshiba laptop. However, you know, those bugs just just bugged me, right? Because now instead of just jumping on the computer to do what I need to do, I have to wake up the computer first. But it still beats running up the stairs and logging into my studio computer. Number 2, the M5 monitor's smart interface is slow. It's very slow. You know, like when you hit the power button on the remote, the monitor takes like 5 seconds to actually turn on. And like when you hit the home button on the remote, it takes about 3-4 seconds to actually go. You don't realize how slow it is until, like, you know, you have like a Rokus are known to be quick and snappy, and so comparing the M5 interface, smart interface, to the Roku's interface, it's night and day. But this monitor is old, so I believe the newer monitors have a quicker interface. This one is from 2021, I believe, so it is to be expected. Number 3, the stand on this monitor is terrible. For some reason, I don't know why Samsung did this, but you have the ability to slightly tilt your monitor to the left or right, but this makes no sense whatsoever because the monitor itself cannot rotate on the stand in a vertical position. It just can't. There's no room. It's not designed to do that. So the fact that Samsung gives you leeway to slightly tilt your monitor this way or that way makes no sense to me. It actually causes problems because, like, you know, I'm kind of OCD when it comes to like leveling out my TVs and monitors, and so like when this monitor is slightly slanted or tilted, it just irritates me. It bugs me, and so I got to go and I straighten it back out, sit back, now straighten it back out again, and I'm doing this for like 5 minutes. Like, why they did this, I don't know. Terrible design. However, this can easily be fixed by just purchasing a desk mount stand for the monitor and using that instead. However, I won't be able to use it because I'm using the VESA mounts on the monitor to hold the bracket so it holds the laptop. Number 4, ChromeOS Flex does not give you the ability to assign pins to your accounts. So like in Microsoft, like, you know, Windows 10, Windows 11, you can assign a pin to your account. So you don't necessarily need your Microsoft password to log into your account every single time. You can assign a pin just like you can on your phone and use that pin instead to log into your PC. Google Chrome OS Flex does not allow this. They do to some extension. It only works as long as you lock your PC. If you log out, however, you go back to having to use your Google password to log back into your account. It's very annoying because me and my wife, we don't know our Google password. We have long, complicated passwords generated using a password generator app, and so we don't know it. We have our password stored, and so when we need it, we need to open the app to take a look at our password. Now, this can easily be resolved by changing our password to something that we know. However, we prefer the security over, you know, convenience. But I do wish that, you know, Google allowed you to assign pins to your account if you're using a local Chromebook. I think that really needs to be looked at by Google. And number 5, I mentioned in the video that I don't mind it, but of course, you might be different. ChromeOS Flex is extremely limited. There is not a lot you can do with ChromeOS Flex. You can only do basic web browsing, document creation, you know, basically whatever Google provides. So if they have a web-based app for, like, you know, creating documents like Google Docs, then you can do that. But if you want like Microsoft Publisher, Google doesn't have an app, a web-based app for that. So you're out of luck. You wouldn't be able to design something unless you can find a web-based version of Publisher or any other competitor that offers the same exact functions as Microsoft Publisher. So, and just a crude example, right? So yeah, Chrome OS Flex, really limited. You might not like it. You would prefer Chrome OS with the Google Play Store. However, that's the beautiful thing about this. You can easily install Chrome OS that has the Play Store onto your old laptops. You don't have to go with Chrome OS Flex like I did. So yeah, go crazy and use the best one that you like. And there you have it. Like I said, this thing came out awesome. And what's cool is that I have the ability to upgrade components as we go on. So if this Toshiba laptop eventually bites the dust and no longer functions, and I have it within my budget to create a more powerful all-in-one, I can get a Mac Mini for $600 and attach it to this monitor and use that as the new operating system for this monitor. And I think that's really cool because it allows me to basically keep everything the same, but just swap out the machine. And that's one of the major benefits to just doing your own all-in-one, opposed to like buying an all-in-one that's built from Acer or Dell. If you buy, like, for example, a Dell all-in-one, you're stuck with what you get, right? You're not going to be upgrading components as time goes on. However, if you built it yourself, like I showed in this video, you can always update the PC components. So, you know, even if you don't want a Mac Mini, let's say you want to go Windows, you can buy a Windows Mini PC and mount that to the back of the monitor and use that instead. So, like, the customization is endless. You know, you can go crazy. That's one of the major benefits to doing this yourself, instead of buying a pre-built all-in-one. But before I go, I do want to run down the price in case, you know, some of you are wondering. So the first cost that we have is the monitor, you know, and as I mentioned, I purchased the 32-inch M5 for $200. I did run into a problem with the monitor size. The 32-inch, like I said, was too large to fit under my cabinet. But we rectified this by buying a small desk from IKEA for $100. So right there, that's $300. Number two, the laptop didn't have a charger. My nephew just gave me the laptop itself, so I did have to purchase a charger, and the charger was $10. Number three, I was fortunate enough to have an Apple keyboard and mouse lying around, so I did reuse those two components too. But if you're going for style, you know, you obviously would want to use something like an Apple keyboard and mouse. You don't have to. I mean, you can see what Logitech has to offer, but if you go with the Apple mouse and keyboard, you can expect to pay $180. Number four, for the laptop, I also purchased an SSD drive to replace the mechanical drive in the laptop, and the total cost for that was $20. And then number five, we have the laptop bracket that we use to attach behind the monitor so it can hold the laptop, and that bracket cost us $20. So after all is said and done, the total cost for everything came up to $530. And yeah, so $500, $600, that's about the going price for a pre-built all-in-one that you can get from like Dell. But do keep in mind though that what you pay for is what you get. So you're stuck with that pre-built until the lifespan of that computer ends, right? When it ends, you're gonna have to throw everything away. However, if you go this round and do your own, the lifespan of the laptop, when it clunks out on you and you can't rebuild it, you can't get it back working again, you can just replace it with another old laptop or a newer laptop. It's all up to you. So that's the major benefit of building it yourself. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. I really hope you found it helpful. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up, and if you didn't find it helpful, leave us a comment on why you didn't find it helpful and a thumbs down. Thanks for watching. My name is Z, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hasta luego, muchachos.